Well, the Firemen's Association of the State of New York, or FASNY, says that the state's volunteer firefighters are responsible for saving taxpayers billions of dollars. That's the finding of an economic impact study. And FASNY says it's important to get the information out there while lawmakers are discussing the state budget. Members say volunteer firefighters keep local taxes and expenses low, since there's no need to pay career firefighters in those communities. New York State relies heavily on volunteer departments, and FASNY says converting them to paid departments would be a severe economic burden, requiring a significant increase in property taxes. CBS 6 has been covering serious staffing shortages in local departments regarding firefighters and EMS services, and we're told that the numbers continue to decline.
Anytime we can offer an incentive to somebody who's curious or somebody, frankly, who's already in the fire service, it has a great benefit. It tends to keep existing firefighters there, but the fact is that it's sort of stabilizing the hemorrhaging. It's not stopping the bleed.
And FASNY says that there are 80,000 volunteer firefighters in New York State. The association's current president is hoping to recruit 10,000 more firefighters and EMS providers over his term.
New York State Assemblyman is back at work in Albany just days after crash landing a single-engine plane on a Long Island beach. Assemblymember Thousands of healthcare workers rally in Albany. It's a call to Governor Hochul to help end a healthcare crisis fueled by the pandemic. Why they say the governor's budget misses the mark.
But the governor's proposal is getting some support. Why some emergency service providers say any help is good enough.
What does a possible indictment do to Donald Trump's chances of taking back the White House in 2024? I'm Scott Thuman in Washington with a look coming up.
CBS 6 News starts now.
Good evening. First at 5 and all new tonight. The mother of the 13-year-old involved in Sunday night's mini bike crash in South Troy is speaking out.
CBS 6's Emma Quinn joins us live from Troy. And Emma, I know you've been following the story since yesterday. What can you tell us? What does she have to say?
Well, Liz, that 13-year-old is being identified as Dreyon Lewis by his family. His mom, Tiffany DeGraffenreid, says he's stable, but he has a long road ahead of him. Now, Lewis was riding a mini bike at the intersection of 4th and Madison Streets Sunday night when the collision occurred. It's currently under investigation by the Troy Police Department, and at this time, there's little information available. Tiffany DeGraffenreid, Dreyon's mom, says he was not wearing a helmet at the time of the crash, and the family is still waiting for doctors to give a full diagnosis of his injuries, saying it'll take a day or two before they have a clear idea of what those injuries actually look like. Here's what she said when I FaceTimed her earlier about her son's personality.
He's very hyperactive. He's a very sports-oriented child. He's full of energy. He plays basketball. He runs track. He plays football, loves to debate, loves to be right. So he's very knowledgeable. He's a very smart child.
DeGraffenreid says her family is optimistic Dreyon can make some sort of recovery. She adds he's an 8th grader in the Troy City School District. Now tonight at 6, we'll share surveillance video leading up to the crash and how others are rallying for Dreyon's recovery. Live tonight in Troy, Emma Quinn, CBS 6 News.
All right, thank you very much for that, Emma. Thousands of caregivers rallying in Albany today. They're calling on Governor Hochul and the legislature to reverse health care cuts and close the Medicaid coverage gap.
Advocates say now, 3 years since the first COVID case was confirmed in New York State, that the pandemic's aftershocks are still being felt. Staff are overwhelmed. Emergency rooms are overflowing. CBS 6 has reported on the long wait times at area hospitals and the growing staffing crisis. Advocates say a 5% Medicaid rate increase in the governor's proposed budget isn't going to make a dent, and an additional $700 million in cuts for safety net hospitals turns back a major 2022 victory. CBS 6's Chet Davis was at the massive rally downtown today.
Healthcare workers by the busload have arrived here in the Capital Region with messages like this for Governor Kathy Hochul. No healthcare workers in poverty. They want to have an open dialogue with the governor to address what they say is an understaffed and underpaid workforce that's been reeling since the pandemic.
Governor Hochul, please, we're asking you, help us to help you. She wants to decrease Medicaid, but we're just asking her, just consider helping our family and helping our brothers and sisters just to help us for a better life.
We're short-staffed every single day. People are leaving left and right to go to Burger King for more money. If we could just get some funding, then it would help bring more people in to care for our grandparents, our mothers, our fathers.
Thousands of healthcare workers from every corner of New York State marched their way around the state capitol building down to MVP Arena. There, the union president and other legislative leaders made speeches. Reporting in Albany, Chet Davis, CBS 6 News.